Hi everyone, Mary Megan here from Popular Materials to show you how to make a craft using items you probably have around your house. Now, we might have missed Mother's Day, but you don't need a special occasion to have flowers around your house. So I'm going to show you how to make a bouquet of flowers using an egg carton. The first step you're going to need is have an egg carton. What we want to do is we need to cut out the inner section of it, the spots that are between the eggs. I have marked off the section that you're going to cut. Basically, it is cutting around the egg carton, so the middle part and then a small connector between them. To cut it out, I used an X-Acto knife. It works really nice because you can kind of saw through the inner part. If you don't have an X-Acto knife, you can use a steak knife in order to saw through it. The scissors don't work that well because the material is very flimsy, and so you might bend it more than you want and not get a good cut. So use the X-Acto knife to cut around the brown mark, and it's basically just cutting a ring around the middle section of the egg carton. After you do that, you will have a piece that looks like this. Now, this doesn't really look like a flower. What you need to do is you need to cut between the petals, basically. So it's cut halfway through the dividers, and then when they're cut, you'll be able to bend them down and make them into petals. Again, you don't want to cut all the way down because you want the middle part to keep it all together. But once you have the petals, that doesn't really look like a nice flower shape. So what you need to do is either with scissors now at this point or still with the X-Acto knife is you want to trim it into the shape of the flower. Here's where you can get a little bit creative and use different tips of the petals to create different flower shapes. So this one, I used a pointed tip. For this one, where it looks a little bit like a tiger lily, I did a jagged edge. And then you can also do a rounded one. That's just round it. Or you can kind of keep it square. But what you're going to want to do is you need to kind of trim off this excess bit of the petal in order to give it a smoother shape. So those are the different shapes that you can cut your flower into. After you have it trimmed, then you get to do the fun part, which is paint it. You're going to want 2 of these for each flower that you make. So you need to do the first few steps twice in order to get 2 pieces to make the flower. One thing you can also do when shaping your flower is like this one. This part is shorter than the outside part. So just trim it down a little bit more to fit the shape that you want. But when you put them in together, they're exactly the same. You can't see any difference. So what you need to make sure to do is when we put them together, and I'll show you how to really put it together in a second, you need to make sure that they are kind of opposite each other. I guess it's perpendicular if you know geometry. I might be completely wrong. But what you're going to do to connect them is you take your pipe cleaner. And what's nice about the egg cartons that I have is they have this hole right in the middle. And so you stick the pipe cleaner right through the hole. And then you stick in your second flower. When you paint them, make sure to paint all sides, all corners. You don't want any egg carton showing. So you have your 2 pieces stuck through the pipe cleaner. You need to create kind of like a knot at the end of the pipe cleaner so that it won't slide all the way through. And so I just rolled it a few times. And then you can pull it to the end and it won't come off. Now again, when you connect your two flower pieces, you want to make sure the side of the one is up against the petal of the bottom one. So I take the glue now. If you don't have tacky glue, you can use just regular Elmer's glue. And so then I put a line of glue on each side, each edge of the inside flower. And then you pull the bottom flower up against it so that the inside section, the glue is up against the inside of this petal. Okay. Now, it looks pretty there, but we can take it up a notch. And what you can do on the inside, you kind of have the green dot from the petal, and that's not necessarily very pretty. So here you can take accessories such as sequins or seed beads and fill the inside. For example, this one has the seed beads inside it, and this one has sequins inside it. Also, as an example, these two you're decorating, you don't have to keep them just solid one color or two color. You can add details to the flower to kind of take them up a notch. So to get the beads or whatever inside, just fill it with some glue. Fill it with glue. And then you take your sequins or beads and fill them in. And the glue will dry clear. So if you have an excess of glue showing, it won't matter. And then you have the inside all nice and sparkly. So that is pretty much how to make a flower out of egg cartons. Each egg carton, because it has 5 inserts, will give you 2 flowers per egg carton. So I was able to get 4 flowers using 2 different egg cartons, and now I have a bouquet of flowers. So I hope you enjoy this craft. If you make some flowers, be sure to share them with us on Facebook. Have fun. Bye.